Let me introduce Charlie Veitch and Dan Dix. And I know both these gentlemen. Charlie has the Love Police over in the UK, traveled over to Canada for the G20. And, of course, Dan Dix has Press for Truth and has put out countless investigative reports on YouTube that we routinely link to up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Why is the G20 important? Well, the 20 finance heads of the industrialized world, who all just so happen to be former Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan Chase or Bank of England operatives, they always then come in. $1.2 billion is being spent in Canada. It's a total police state. They release police dogs on women in the U.S. in Pittsburgh, martial law for 3 days, no one allowed outside, randomly sound cannons attacking people. College students couldn't even, one of my reporters got arrested for no reason. We have video of it, him politely videotaping from a grassy hill, and they come and arrest him. And he watched Luke Rudowski tortured in the military armory where they had him. I mean, this is real, folks. And so the banker criminals come to your town, and they practice federalizing, and all the local police then become spies, spying on people at cafes, listening to your political speech. It's all over the news that they pass secret laws to just randomly arrest people and detain them in facilities with cameras over the toilets. And so to tell us what's happened in the last 3-4 days total as the global parasites come to town are these two gentlemen joining us via video Skype. So whoever wants to go first, break down what's happening. We saw burning cars. A lot of intel says that was a staged event, and the police made no effort to stop it, but they will beat up any peaceful protester with pleasure or drag you off to their facility. And it looks like we've caught the Canadian police staging events before, and the Greek and the British and the Italian and the U.S., and so, but that always comes out a few months later in court hearings. What does this look like, gentlemen?
Well, Alex, just yesterday, right after we got off your show, I got a call from one of our camera guys who called me and said, Dan, we're here at Queen and Spadina. We've been surrounded by riot police, and they were arresting and detaining everybody and everyone who was encircled in that intersection. 240 people were arrested, rounded up, detained, and taken downtown to what is now known as Guantanamo Bay. And it's just unbelievable. Charlie and I tried to get there as soon as we could to try to cover it, but we were blocked at every single turn that we tried to get to. The police said you cannot get up there. The street is now closed. And, 240 people were just rounded up and detained for peacefully, just sitting there, very peacefully protesting. And, of course, it was all justified because of the actions that they said took place the previous day with burning police cars, which is extremely, extremely suspicious when you consider that these things were allowed to burn for the media photo op. These cars were set on fire by the supposed Black Bloc anarchists. And I had been sent a photo from a good friend of mine at nauresistance.org, which shows that some of these Black Bloc guys had the same clubs that the police were using at the front of the riot line.
Well, I've seen the video and photos. They look like cops. And I said that 2.5 years ago in Montebello. And headline, Royal Mounted Police admit that was their officers. I forget the exact headline, but it's Royal Mounted Police admit their officers attacked other officers for the media, and we caught them in Denver. I said look like provocateurs. Denver Post headline, police posed as anarchists, attacked other police. So they do this everywhere, and if they're not cops, we've proven they're foundation funded. They're flown in.
Yeah, that's exactly what we heard from many people here on the ground. I think it's beyond any reasonable suspicion now that these people are agent provocateurs, either allowed to do this by the police or actually police officers.
Well, stay there. I want you guys to walk through what happened with this specifically and then get into other issues on the other side of this quick break. But this has happened over and over and over again, and it's meant to set a precedent to shut down our free speech. The same thing is done worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, and they are bringing these people in. I've had the anarchists tell me in Austin that they do work for the feds. That doesn't mean all anarchists. Doesn't matter if the G20's meeting in London or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania or Toronto, Canada. They come in, Laws are passed just so private security can arrest citizens. Laws are passed so citizens have no due process and can be arrested. People are grabbed. There's secret police on trains, spying on everyone. People are just taken away for no reason. That's the headline. Secret law passed allows unlimited arrest. And then, magically, the anarchists show up. The police stand back, as is in these new videos. Let them set police cars in fire that are parked there, and then let the media see it, and then they pull back and are left alone. In the case of Seattle and other cities, you then catch them in government buildings or in other buildings protected by police. And I don't know how cops go along with this. Well, we've had cops speak up in Canada and the U.S. about it, and in Denver, Colorado. That's why we know about it. But going back to Charlie Veitch and Dan Dix, guys, going back to this provocateur action, I think that's most important. Tell us the intel you're getting.
Well, a very interesting thing that happened. Charlie and I were in the middle of this particular protest where everybody got surrounded, and they had blocked the street on Queen Street leading up to Spadina, the area where one of the police cars was on fire. And Charlie got on the bullhorn and said, you know, if this line is blocked, let's go north, everybody. So everybody started to go this way, and then all of a sudden the police opened up the line and allowed everyone to go through. Almost like as if they wanted us to be in that particular area where that police car was on fire. Because once we got the crowd to go in another direction, they opened up the line and said, well, let them through. So they let the hundreds and hundreds of protesters through where we were once blocked, and moved us into the area where the police car was on fire, and that's where they blocked everyone in and detained us. Charlie and I, lucky enough, got out just at the right time because we came back to my place to do the show. So we just missed that by a few minutes.
So that was part of the photo op. Down the road, the Fed boys, no doubt, torched the police cars. Then they were like, come on, guys, we need you. We need the regular protesters. There's a jail cell waiting for you. You guys, Charlie just got out of jail the day before, or that morning. You guys duck out to come be interviewed by me last night, and then right on time because they could then arrest their bad guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Again, we were under massive surveillance. Dan and I were getting pointed out by police officers. They had their $7,000 semi-professional cameras. And it's just for the grace of your show that we decided to duck out of this particular march. And Alex, how do you feel about the predictive programming effects of almost 300 protesters being rounded up in an urban area onto buses and taken away to a detention camp?
Well, I mean, they admit, I've seen it in Austin, I've seen it in New York City for the RNC 2004. It's done for any of these high-security events the exact same way. They bring in their thugs, they let them attack, burn a few trash cans. It always turns out they're feds. They leave, they're protected. And then an hour later, a day later, they then attack peaceful crowds saying that you were the ones that did it. And I've walked up to these anarchists before and said, you know, I know you're a Fed. They're like, you're right, we're going to get you too. And usually they're communist. You know, under their outfit, they'll have a big red star on, and they're flown in by foundations, paid for by, you know, big wealthy foundations. But other times they're actual cops. And I just hope people realize that the government's doing this as a form of false flag to demonize any type of demonstration.
Yeah, Alex, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say to the people listening, and especially people in Toronto, if you were one of the 240 people who were arrested and detained and taken to the camp, please get in touch with me at dan@pressfortruth.ca. We would like to interview you about what happened, and so that we can get your story out to the world, because it's extremely important what took place here yesterday. Oh,
it's incredibly important. And we've had callers today, one of them who said they were on a train, and there was like a plainclothes security woman who sat down next to him and listened to him. They weren't even in, you know, wearing demonstration outfits or bandanas or anything. And then when the train stopped, she got off and pointed at them, and then police ran up and interrogated them for almost an hour, and then went ahead and just randomly arrested one of the people. And so, I mean, this is secret police. This is East Germany.
But there was actually raids going on all over the city. The University of Toronto campus was raided, I believe it was a day ago or maybe 2 days ago, where 70 students at U of T, you know, riot cops just came in and raided their campus and arrested them all, suggesting that they were potentially going to cause violence the following day.
And then magically there was a fire. Oh.
Right on cue.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the scumbag idiots who gave the police these orders, because they are really helping the global awakening with their sloppy job and exposing the illusion that these people are on our side to try and help us. If it's not September the 11th...
Well, stay there. Let's talk about it.